Sausage! Welcome everyone. What's going on? You're in for another thrilling Monday night. It's Monday the 21st. Where are we? July. Oh, it's Maya's birthday next week. This week. It's Monday. Welcome everyone. What's going on? Settle in. Get yourselves a drink. I've got the Bud Light iced coffee with the obligatory orange straw. I've gone for about a tablespoon of coffee, a tablespoon of sugar, which I know is too much really. Boiling water, mixed it around, and then just filled the rest up with milk. And I've got about 1, 2, 3, 4 ice cubes in there. So that's going to keep us kicking. God, look at you all. Welcome everyone, Matt. Just do it in the rain. Mate, all these jobs that are backing up, they're all ceiling jobs. We managed to catch up with the last of the resanding work today when we had a little bit break in the weather this afternoon. Luckily we did it today because it looks like the next few days are going to be crap as well. But it's the ceiling. We're supposed to be sealing some block paving. I want to go back and do another coat on the pattern and printed concrete that we did. But like with those sorts of jobs, with that solvent-based sealer, you could do with it being dry for like a couple of days beforehand as well, just because all the sub-base can sort of hold all that moisture, and if you seal it down, you're going to risk it blooming and sort of turning white. And so I just don't want to. This is supposed to be like a repair job. The block paving one that we're doing is supposed to be me coming back after like 2 years of messing it up. Messed it up about 2 years ago. Didn't get a very good result. So this next video is supposed to be me coming back and fixing it. And so I don't want to mess it up again, so I just want to make sure it's perfect. But yeah, the weather's just been so unpredictable. Simon, welcome. Liam Barnett. Recognise that name. Nice reef clean. Thanks, Tracy. Thanks very much. Writer, welcome. Sausage. All right, Rich. Robert, how you doing? Gleamguard, Sussex. Sue's weekend doing stuff. Sue, what are you up to this weekend? What have you just done last weekend? Has it been a good one? I'm not late. How dare you? Steve, welcome. How's the no drinking going? Thanks for asking. It's going really well. I've got a dilemma coming up because the lads are organising. They're organising my stag do, and the wedding falls within the 12 months as well. I sort of told myself I want to do 12 months sober, but the wedding will be on the 11th month, and my stag do is going to be next month, I think. And so Soph said, you know, you might regret not being able to have a drink and sort of, you know, relaxing and stuff. There's one, you know, these are once in a lifetime events, if she's lucky. And so she said, if you don't drink, you know, you might not be able to relax. You might end up worrying about what other people are doing, and I don't want to be the only sober one there. So I'm thinking about drinking on my stag do and drinking at my wedding. I think I can allow myself that, and maybe just do 2 extra days on the end of the 12 months to make up for it. But I don't crave it. There's been a few times in the weather when the sun's been out and we've finished for the day, and I'm like, it would be quite nice to go to a pub after work and just have a cold beer, but it's not like desperation, or it's not like this deep craving that I get where I can't shake it. It's just fine. I'm happy going without. We used to ride together, Matt Simmons. We used to ride together, did we? Whereabouts? Matt Simmons. Redditch Skate Park. Got a Titan install and it's chucking it down every time I try and get it done. I mean, one could argue that I think I think it's not the end of the world if it's spitting. If it's light rain, I think you can still install the Titan. The only thing I have noticed is when you get heavy rain, it can leave like water droplet shapes in the joints, and then it will like obviously set like that as well. Let's have a look what they say. I'm sure you can do it in light rain. It's crucial to adhere to the tub's recommended surface temperature between 3 and 25 degrees. If the stone surface is too warm, particularly on darker slabs, the curing will speed up the epoxy. It doesn't say anything about rain, because you've got to wet the surface anyway. You know what I mean? You've got to soak the surface. So I think you'll be alright if it rains, mate, to be honest. It might increase like the curing time, but we've used it plenty of times when it's been raining. Not an issue as far as I'm aware. I'm sure a lot of you already know they have put this warning. It's been on the website for quite a while now, this warm weather warning. And for those of you that don't know, CleanLink have started stocking the Nexus products. How much is... So that's a good price for the poly sweep. I'm paying about 30 quid for the poly sweep. I wonder how much delivery is. Because if I can get it delivered instead of driving 20 minutes to the garden centre every time I need to pick some up. The only thing with buying it local is you can just go... You know, if you buy too much or too little, you can either go back and get a refund fairly easily or stock up. Whereas if you're buying it online, you've sort of got to wait, haven't you? Nexus Pro joint. Where's the Titan? Fusion. There's I've got a discount code for CleanLink. I think it's Smelt 5 possibly, or just Smelt. I think it is. It'll pop up in this corner in a bit. So the Titan is 65.70. Are they different prices for the different colours? It is. Okay. Oh, there's a sale on that one. I think I'll probably start ordering mine from Tom. Before I was ordering from Pro Tyler Tools, who I've got quite a good relationship with. But Tom's a good guy. He's good to me, so probably not much in the price, to be fair, but we'll have a look. Started the Monster Patio restoration today. Cedars, how did it go, mate? What's the first impressions? I want to know how much the cherry picker cost. I would love to tell you. I'll tell you what I'll do. I've got an old email. That's what I'll do. I'll tell you exactly how much it costs. When I hired the last one. Unfiled invoices. Where's Dormer? They're all just Smart Seal invoices. Buying all their stock out. Hire desk. Off hire note. Here we go. Oh, that's cheaper than I thought it was. Huh? So the tracked cherry picker, 12.7 meters. I think this is before that. 140 quid. Delivery was 15 quid. The collection was 15 quid. So it's 170 quid plus VAT, which is £204. God, that's way cheaper than I remember it being. £204, and that's for one day. And I think if you keep it for multiple days, it's obviously a bit cheaper. See, this is... okay. Okay, so the last time I used it, we actually had it delivered to Pershore, which is quite far away. It's about a 35, almost 40-minute drive. And it was 264 quid, including VAT, because it was £40 both ways to get it delivered. So, and the new one, I'm assuming the new one's the same price. I didn't actually ask, but I'm assuming it is. I haven't paid for it yet. I think they tried to call me today, but I missed it. Hope that answers your question. Millhouse, welcome. July has been worse than what April usually would be. Yeah, we had like an early start to the summer where it's like super hot, and then now the rain's kicking back in, isn't it? Hi Jake, been watching.
It's massive.
Come here.
Please come get it out.
Come here.
She's literally nearly crying out.
Say that again.
There's a big spider in my room, and I only like little spiders.
You only like little ones.
Honestly, it's the biggest spider I've ever seen. Oh, she said, I thought it was Kippy's hair to start with, and then it was down here, and then it was up here, and I was like, I picked up a teddy, I'm like...
Can you just get a glass and pop a glass over it? You can do it. You can do it.
Daddy, we need you.
Guys, I will be back. I'm so sorry about this. I'm going to get so behind on the chat.
Please.
Okay.
Just quit.
I'll be back. I'm sorry, everyone.
Tell them not to type.
Don't type. If you've got any questions or stuff, don't type and I'll be back, alright? I've literally never seen a spider this big in the house before. It's absolutely massive. Look at the size of that thing. That's a pint glass. And if he had his legs out, he'd span the whole width of the pint glass. That's massive.
Oh, it's jumping. Even his body's huge.
You can see his fangs. That is wild. That was on your bed. Imagine if you'd have just gone to sleep and you didn't realise. That's huge.
Probably should have used the back of that piece of paper.
What are we going to do with him? I feel like we need to show Luca.
Yeah, because he's good at taking care of pets.
He is good at taking care of pets.
Maybe we can put it in
Oh yeah,
here.
good idea. Take the.
Are you sure we want to keep the spider in that big?
I feel like we need to show Luca tomorrow.
Okay, and then put him outside, yeah?
And he's got.
He's got slime.
Oh god, I saw the headphones wiggling then. I thought it was another one.
You on edge a little bit.
I am a little bit like...
He's scary, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
That one's too heavy.
Maya, can you hold that back?
Oh.
Oh! Oh! Oh!
Oh god. Mate, he's on the top.
No, don't open it. There, look.
He screamed. He literally ran away. Oh my god. Thanks for doing that.
That's absolutely huge. What the hell?
You can see why I wasn't doing that.
Right. I don't really trust you with him. I feel like you're going to let him out. Look at the size of that thing.
No,
Right.
don't.
I don't want him in here.
No, I don't want him out here.
Alright, I'll put him down there. And what should we call him?
You're going to be keeping an eye on that all night to make sure he's still in
What should we call him, Maya?
there. Then get your body out.
Why?
Well, I didn't know if you got pants on.
Right, good night. I've got...
Say thank you to Daddy.
I'm supposed to be working.
Aw.
Good night. Am I your hero? Bloody hero, am I? Sweating all of a sudden. Sorry about that, everyone. Where were we? Been watching your videos for a few weeks now. I want to start a pressure washing business. Got a headache from doing so much research. I mean, that's not a bad thing. At least you're being conscientious. There's some people that do nothing. They just see a cool YouTube video, buy all the equipment, and start. And that's when people tend to make mistakes. So it's good that you're doing research. And congrats. I'm glad the videos are useful for you. Not the turbo nozzle. I fixed the toilet. Nice, Sue. Well done. Evening, Chelt. Welcome. Good video earlier. Great, Jake. Cherry pickers are great. They are. They're very cool. They're the only trouble with the cherry picker is even if we had access around the back of that property, I don't think I'd have trusted. I don't think I'd have trusted the weight of that vehicle on the slabs. That's my only issue. So even if you can get round the back, I don't know if it's a good idea. I wouldn't be driving it on like Indian sandstone slabs and stuff. I just wouldn't. Jed, someone said that they don't do sealing because it takes too long, too weather dependent, and messes with the schedule. He said it'd be better off simply pressure washing another drive. Would love to hear your thoughts. Do you know what, Jed? I was thinking about this today. We were preparing block paved rear patio for sealing today. And I thought to myself, in fact, I'll show you the results. I mean, this is me being super vulnerable, so you guys will have to just take this as it is, and I don't think a lot of people would share this with you. But I went back to a property today that we sealed on YouTube. Let's have a look how long ago it was. I'm not very impressed, I'll be honest. Sophie's not very well today, bless her. She's sneezing. She's a sniffler. Okay, we sealed it 9 months ago. It was this video here, sealing block paved driveway with Smart Seal. So they got in touch and they said, we'd like the back doing now. We're happy with the front, we'd like the back doing. And I turned up and I was hoping, I knew the drive was weedy when we first did the job. And I turned up and I thought, I'm very intrigued to see how this driveway looks. And it didn't look good. And I had moved a lot of the blocks around to try and where they park the car on the drive, a lot of the blocks have moved. And so we'd shuffled some of them round. So this is the drive today. You can see already lots of weeds. And I thought, where's the sand gone? Like, we've literally resanded it and put 2 thick coats of sealer on it. Where's all the sand gone? And it's just cracked and just disappeared. Where obviously where they've driven onto the drive, it's just gone. I mean, this isn't the highest quality video, but there's weeds coming through, and the sand has just sort of disappeared and dropped. And so, honestly, the cost of sealing a drive like this for the customer, for 9 months down the line, for it, for it to look like this, and I don't think there's much we could have done differently to have improved this result. Honestly, I'm leaning more towards the hard setting sand. I'm not impressed by this at all. And I was embarrassed turning up to this today. And so I've said to them, like, instead of sealing the back, would you consider just the hard setting sand this time? Because it sort of works out around about the same price. But like, for reference, if let's have a look. For reference, I was showing them this video, and if you can get results like this consistently, and I've been back to some of these driveways. I've been back to some of these driveways that we've applied this hard setting sand to, and done like a bit of pressure washing out the back, or just doing like a maintenance surface wash, and it doesn't wash out as bad as you think. And even if it does, this is a sort of product where you can just add more and just top it up. 12 months down the line, if the drive starts to get a bit weedy again, you just pressure wash the weeds out and just top it up. Leave the customer with some in their garage, so if ever they get any cracks or anything, they can top it up themselves if they wanted to. I just feel like this is a much better solution for block paving, personally. And this, I was explaining to the customer, like, this is less weather dependent. Yes, it still needs to be dry, but the sub base doesn't need to be perfectly dry when you're applying this stuff. It only needs to be like surface dry, as long as it's not clumping when you're putting it between the joints, and as long as it's not setting on the surface of the slabs, or on the surface of the block pavers. Look how hard it goes. And I can't remember who said it, but it's got, I think it was Nexus that said it, but it's got like an almost self-repairing quality, where if it does, where did I hear this? I'm not making this up, I've heard this somewhere. If it does crack, it almost repairs itself. I don't want to be accused of spreading misinformation. But I honestly think this might be the way forward. Long-lasting finish. Stands out: superior durability and resistance to cracking. Resistance to cracking. Less prone to washing out. Using a whacker plate is recommended. We've never used a whacker plate. I think this is mainly, I think they're mainly talking about a fresh install, like a new driveway. I'm thinking this is the way forward, personally, because it's the sealing this last couple of weeks has really messed me about, and it's caused me a lot of stress having to move jobs around. I sent 3 messages last night to customers saying, I haven't forgotten about you, I'm just waiting for like a dry spell. And they're 3 decent sized jobs, and it's not something I can do or get all 3 of them done in one day. So I need like two good days where it's been consistently dry for like 2 days prior, and it's just like, it's just too much. It's just asking too much of the UK weather. I think for a homeowner, I think sealing is a good option if you're a DIY and you're trying to do it yourself, because you're not under any sort of time constraint. You can do it whenever you get a break in the weather. But for a business owner, I've got to slot it in between all the other work that I've got lined up. You know what I mean? It's just I feel like it's just this weather's too inconsistent. Whereas this Pro Joint Poly Sweep, I can do that any time of year. We were resanding. We were cleaning block paved driveways and resanding all through winter last year. And there's no reason why I couldn't do this. As long as it's surface dry, we can crack on. And I think it's a much better suited to my business. Now, I'm still going to be sealing things like pattern imprinted concrete, because that's prone to discoloration and fading and all that sort of stuff. I think we'd probably still end up sealing things like maybe Indian sandstone, tarmac sealer is like the easiest, because again, it's like the water-based stuff that we use. It's not really that bothered about if it's a little bit damp. I mean, it shouldn't be damp, but I've not had adverse effects from dampness. Even when there's literally been dark black patches of damp water on the drive, we've still gone ahead on, I think, on 2 of the drives that we've done, where the bins have been sat, for example, and it's still been absolutely fine. And so I think with this, with the solvent based stuff, you've got a risk of it flash drying, you've got a risk of it bubbling and blistering, and you've got a risk of it blooming when there's too much water trapped between the sub base. I just think that's so much risk. Maybe with like a water based clear, like a pure seal acrylic seal, I might still offer this for block paving, maybe. But again, what happens when it cracks? What happens when the customer drives on it and there's a bit of movement in the blocks and it cracks? What happens? Don't know. Oh, it was Matchwood Skate Park. Matt? No way. Matt Simmons. Have you got a brother called Chris? Did I go to school with him? I seen Red Clean done a pick apart video on LRS. Yeah, I don't know what the intention was behind that, to be honest. Honestly, I don't feel like they're contributing anything towards the conversation. What's it called? Red's Cleaning. I started watching the one they did on. Started watching the one they did on Macintosh. What's it called? Red's Cleaning. Red Clean. Red Clean. Podcast? Yeah, this one. So they've taken Liam, who's first they did the Macintosh one, which, you know, the audio was terrible. That they wasn't really saying anything and contributing to the conversation at all. At least Macintosh made his point, and he articulated his points. That, like, they were just watching a video and pausing it every now and again to comment, and done the same thing with Liam. They picked someone who's fairly new to the industry. He's only been going a year or two himself, and they've picked one of his old videos, and just, I don't know how long these guys have been in the game for, but I just don't know what their game plan is with these videos. Like, what are they trying to do? What are you trying to achieve by picking a guy like Liam? And just, I don't even know whether the video was positive or negative, but I don't know why their opinion really matters. Like, why don't you just put your own stuff out instead of reacting to other stuff? Doesn't matter. I don't care. It's no skin off my nose, but it's just a very strange move. There's lots of strange behaviour in the industry at the moment, isn't there? Washi, welcome. They are doing one every week. Maybe I'll be next, who knows? Maybe they'll be criticising my work. That'll be fun, won't it? Titan has to set dry for 24 hours after install, looking at the tub. Yeah, I mean, does that mean it can't be spitting? Raining? I seal drives, but I'm thinking of not doing it anymore. I have a job halfway through, can't get back to it. It's been 4 weeks. Yeah, and that's the other thing, especially with block paving. If it's been 4 weeks, the likelihood is, if it's got no sand in it and it's not been sealed, the likelihood is the weeds are going to start sprouting up. And so, do you wash it again? If that happens, do you apply a weed killer? Like, what do you actually do? What would you do in that situation? Because I don't know what to do. You wash it again, and you've got to wait another 3 to 5 days before you can seal it. So what's the plan? You know what I mean? I've missed so much. I'm sorry. I'm scrolling back up to the top. The chat keeps moving. I'm scrolling back up to the top. I'm gonna read every one of your messages, and I did just apologise, but I'm not going to apologise for it. Delivery is the problem with ordering the polysweep. I can imagine it's probably quite a heavy product, and it probably gets mine. When I've ordered it in the past, it's delivered on the pallet, and so I can imagine. Cedars, when recording for Facebook, the drone recorded today in 9:16 and it looked mint until I tried to change the ratio to 16:9 for Facebook. What do you do? Okay, so you're trying to change it from like landscape to portrait. So you wouldn't be able to flip it and change the aspect ratio without zooming in. So you'd want to record in 4K and go as wide as possible, knowing that when you put it into portrait, that it's going to chop the sides off of it, and you're going to lose both edges. That's all you can do, really. You don't necessarily want to change the aspect ratio when you're in your video editing software. You just want to set the canvas to 1080 by 1920, for example. And if you want it the other way around, it's obviously 1920 by 1080. So don't mess with the aspect ratio, just change the resolution to what you want to post to. Daz, welcome. How you doing, mate? Spider's on toast for tea. only fix for the spider is fire. Wait for the scream. Jake's not coming back. Invoice for removing the spider. Hypo the spider. Do you know Hypo apparently works on spiderwebs because it's organic. It's like an organic material. Hang on. I don't see it. So? I don't see it. I don't see it. Is there a hole in the thing?
How's it got out?
Oh my god.
Watch out. There you go.
Is there a hole in it?
Okay. How would it have got out, V?
I don't know.
Just looked at it.
I just looked over and I can't see it.
Shake, give it a shake, maybe it's... There you go. What the heck? Oh, it's at the top. No,
Where?
it's not. Is
No,
that-
that's not it.
Use that. Sorry, Lily.
It's not in there.
I told you not to...
Oh, I see it. I see it.
Okay.
It's here. It's there. Oh my god, that's so big. Oh, it's at the top. Look, it's under the flap. Okay, back to bed. Back to bed. You're brave.
You're a weapon. Maybe
Get the sniper nozzle on it. I'm really struggling for work at the moment. 3 weeks without an inquiry. I'm starting to get twitchy. That's pretty mad. Just for a bit of perspective, this isn't me trying to flex or brag or anything. I was going to come on today and say, has anyone noticed that they've had a surge in inquiries? Because I've got... it feels like I'm trying to brag now. I'm not, honestly. I'm just trying to offer, like, my... responses. Inquiry responses. Today, I'm just going to show you this form so you can see. So today, at the bottom here, all these are new. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inquiries today. Block paving, clean and seal, quote to clean my roof, gutters, a couple of other bits. Is anyone? Let's do our little weekly poll. Let's do our poll so that we know whereabouts everyone is when it comes to how busy we all are. So I think it's worth knowing this every week. Still loading, come on. There we go. Are you getting busier? I think I might have spelled busier wrong. Oh no, that's right. Spiders hate synergy, is that right? Been on a painting fascia job now, painting rough cast. Now painting rough cast and the weather's ruining it for me. Sean, so I still maintain that cleaning gutters, fascias and soffits is still like one of the worst jobs for me as an exterior cleaner. I think Jakey agrees. I think it's even worse than roof cleaning because it's like less satisfying. At least at the end of a roof clean, you've got like a decent transformation most of the time. Painting fascias. I'm guessing you can't do that with UPVC unless you're like spraying it. I guess with wooden fascias and soffits you can paint them with a brush maybe and a roller, but with PVC ones you'd have to spray them. Sean, what sort of job is that to do then, to paint fascias and soffits? Do you have to get scaffolding or can you do it all from a ladder? Is it slow, like can you get it done in a day, or is it span across multiple days? No guests tonight, Simon, I'm afraid, just me. Hybrid spiders. What's the bet that you knock the glass over before the end of the show? You lost all your viewers. Oh well, it's only the good ones left. Evening, Darren. Stopping in to say hi from the other side of the pool. Darren's in Greece at the moment. You've got a crown because you're one of the highest contributors in the chat. You've got XP. You've got experience points. Told you Jake would scream. Anyone doing the Module 2 Pure Steel course in August? Jake the Spider Whisperer. I don't know about that. I don't think he likes me. Evening Revive and Refresh. Welcome, mate. How you doing? That's a good point, Craig. 3 weeks with no inquiries. Have you been door knocking? Or like, have you been active? Have you been doing anything about it? Or are you sort of just waiting for the phone to ring? Because I know my boy Craig's out there door knocking when he gets quiet. See you, Darren. Jake, is that the driveway you levelled the blocks? It is, yes. I think for best results with the sealing or hard setting sand is to go over it with a whacker plate and make sure the joints are full. So I think the issue with this particular drive was that the joints were so wide, there was just so much movement every time they moved. They put the car on the drive, and so it's cracked. Because in the other places down towards the garage, it still looked pretty perfect, and it was keeping the weeds at bay. And she said like it still looks better than we've ever been able to do it. And it's lasted longer than it's ever lasted for us. Where's the results of the poll? 66% of you say you're not getting busier, and 33% of you say you are getting busier, and that's 27 votes. So it still seems like there's a bit of a lull, a bit of a dip. Everyone gets complacent. Sealing, I refuse, Luke says. The stress and the hassle isn't worth it. For me, it's simple. Tell the customer they'd get at least another clean or two for the price and application. Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, you could just say, look, in a year's time, I can come back and clean it again for the same price it's going to cost you for me to clean and seal it this year. And it's going to be just as dirty next year, because the sealing doesn't stop it getting dirtier. It might, I mean, the customer today did comment and say, you know, when I clean the car and I get brake dust on the block paving and stuff, now it just rinses off with the hose, whereas before it would have sort of stained oil. We noticed the hoses, because we were going over the drive with the hoses, they were rubbing on the drive, and I looked at it and I thought, oh god, black marks all over the drive. Like, these hoses are killing me. And normally we'd have to give them a light pressure wash to get those black marks off, but I literally just rinsed it with the X-Jet from quite far away, and it was just powder, and it just went away. And so sealing definitely makes a difference when it comes to stain resistance, but most customers are sealing their drives not for stain resistance, it's to set the sand hard to stop the weeds. And so I think if I can still achieve that result, setting the sand hard to, and I'll explain to them, it's going to slow the weeds down, because it's going to create a hard barrier between the joints. It's not going to stop the weeds, but it will potentially slow them down. And I think it's just potentially better for the customer going forward. If there are any gaps over time, you just top them back up again. Easy. I feel like I want to... I was thinking about... I might have had this conversation with you lot before, but on my website, offering 3 tiers of service when it comes to ground surface cleaning, or at least block paving anyway, like a bronze, silver, gold service. And the bronze would be pressure wash, chemically treat and resand. The silver would be pressure wash, chemically treat, resand with hard setting sand. And the gold would be pressure wash, chemically treat, hard setting sand, and then an ongoing maintenance of biocide and potentially weed killer when I get my weed killer license. So they can phone up, or they can inquire, and they already have the information. They know which services I offer. I could even put on the website that we don't seal block paving. I don't know whether I want to. I don't know if I want to like fully step out of it like that, or whether I'm still in two minds. This is the whole issue with my business at the moment. I'm sort of sat on the fence with so much stuff. I'm not making decisions, and I feel like if I just made a decision, my life would get easier. The whacker's not just for new installs. Yeah, but then the cost of the added cost of that job to whack a plate, I don't know, the cost of the sand is already significant for the customer. It's like 30 quid a bag. Plus the added cost of installation, because it's harder and more time. It takes longer to install the hard setting sand than it does just kiln dried sand. So not only have they got a product that's massively more expensive than kiln dried, they've got an installation process that they're going to incur a higher labour cost. But then we need to hire a whacker plate as well just to get it in. I don't know. I agree, you'd get a better result. I do agree. I just don't know if that's too much for the customer. At that point, do you buy a small, light whacker plate and just have it? Small whacker plate. Because you don't need nothing insane. You're not trying to set the block paving into the sand like you would if you were installing a new driveway, for example. You only want to sort of rumble the blocks so the sand is able to drop down between the joints. You'd only want a small one because these weigh an absolute ton. I wonder if you can get a little dinger. That looks like a dinger. Something like that would be good, wouldn't it? £35 to hire it. You could argue that's pretty good, isn't it? Like 35 quid, not much of an increase on top of the job. You could even sell it to the customer and say, look, for best results, we want to hire a whacker plate. I don't know. It seems like a lot of effort for me. We're not landscapers. We're exterior cleaners. Like, what? Where's the line? Where do we draw the line? Thanks for the detailed answer. No worries, mate. No worries at all. I'm super happy in the last 5 days. Have fully booked August nearly. Definitely working out. There's definitely work out there. Oh, I lost it. I lost it. Yeah, there's definitely work out there. Got to try and find it. We're booked up till about second week in September. Now. Smout, is it worth buying a cherry picker for my power washing business and a flatbed to move it around? I cannot give you good advice on that. I'll be totally honest, mate. How established are you? How far along are you? Do you have customers? Are you booked up? Are you quite, like, if you're quiet now and you're thinking a cherry picker's gonna solve the demand issue, then it doesn't sound like a good idea to me. If you're super busy and you think it's going to allow you to get through jobs quicker and it's a good investment, maybe. They're a lot of money. What are they, like 15 grand? I don't know how much they cost. You're best off talking to Dan the cherry picker man. Danny. He's actually just put a video out tonight where he did his first, I think it was his first proper roof scrape with some Skyvac stuff. And I think I only watched half of it. I think he hated it. It's good to see his perspective on stuff because it shows you how roof cleaning is going to be hard. But I think watching his channel, it really shows you, like, oh shit, like, imagine if I'd have underestimated that, I'd have been absolutely stuffed. I think the potential with roof cleaning, you should go and watch this yourself if you haven't already, but it's Dan the cherry picker man. But look at that. Like, imagine this is your first job. Even imagine you've hired a cherry picker, or you've hired a scaffold tower, and you've given yourself 1 day to do it, which I think he was hoping he'd be finished early. and he'd give himself a day. And bearing in mind, when we do like rather big roof scrapes, we're on the roof with the harnesses and the ladders, and we're doing it by hand, and there's 3 of us, and it's still hard work. Trying to do a roof this size on your own, it's a massive shock. And so I don't think it's all about having the best equipment, because you can even see when he's in the cherry picker like this, everything's moving around. And if you imagine when you push against the moss, if the basket of the cherry picker is moving at all, it's like having a pole that's got flex in it. All of that flex is energy taken out of the efficacy of the job. So when that cherry picker moves, when you're pushing away from it, that's all of your power that you've just lost because the cherry picker's moved, and it's such a difficult job. And I think he articulated it very well in that I think there's got to be better ways of doing this job. I mean, that's why we've moved to trying to do it all from roof ladders and rope and harness, because I feel like trying to scrape a roof from a tower, one, it just doesn't seem like the most effective method, and two, I never get like great results. My results are always better if I can get on the roof and do it properly. So I don't think the industry has really figured it out yet. I think everyone's just I don't know anyone that's, maybe there are people here that have found a method of roof scraping that is super effective. It's not as labour intensive as it could be, and they get a good result every time. That the access is always the access is never a problem, because that's the trouble with a cherry picker or a tower, or even getting on the roof. If it's too steep, if you've got no access around the back, if you've got to go through the house, there's always an access issue. There's sometimes an access issue, and that changes the job. Is there anything that is reliable and consistent that works every time on every roof, and you're not breaking your back, and you can get in and out there, in a day? Don't know. I can't answer that question for you, Dark Messiah, I'm afraid. I don't know the state of your business. Water-based stuff from Pure Seal and Smart Seal does not last 6 months on block paving. Is that true? That's a bold statement. Evening, Anthony. Liam, welcome. You've been welding stuff. Thanks for the guys that watched and liked my TikTok video. Oh, there you go. Focus Exterior. Hello, Jake. I'm a new company based in Birmingham. What's the best way for me to start getting regular jobs? Door knocking isn't working. How many doors have you knocked? And are you keeping track? I mean, I've been over this many times in the past. So if you want to scroll to my earlier videos, I talk about how I started getting work and how I could go into more depth here, but I do this every week. And so it's start your social media pages, your Facebook, your Instagram, take photos of everything and post it, get your family and friends to share it, do free or cheap jobs for friends and family to generate content, get reviews, and it tends to sort of snowball and go from there. That was the way I did it, in short. Liam's had 3 roof quotes coming today, but probs because of the weather. I mean, the one thing that you can probably be sure of is when we have heavy rain like we have done, you get some gutter inquiries. It's worth putting a post out in the local Facebook pages when you get like super heavy rain like we have. Just putting a little gutter clearing post out just to say, look, just a reminder. If any of you have got leaky gutters, it could be caused by a blocked downpipe or too much moss in your gutters and all that sort of stuff. What are we suggesting for tarmac restoration? Clean, patch in any holes next day once cured. What's the best product? Smart Seal, 8 square meters, the cost, and what would you charge for the above? Jesus, Luke. You could clean it and patch the holes on the same day, or you can clean it and then wait a day or two, then patch the holes. We tend to patch the holes the same day that we seal it, really. I mean, let's break it down. Smelt.club. Oh, bollocks. I've got this privacy error every time I join. Let's break it down. It's 80 square meters. The ceiling, the coverage is around about 2.5 meters squared per litre. The cost of the product. Jane Morris has got back in touch. The cost of the product, $36.95. We're gonna say 40 just to account for delivery. Divided by 5 litres is 8, so we're looking at about £8 per square metre for the per litre for the product. We're gonna need 2 coats on average. I've put about £1.50 per metre squared on for labour. So really, based on 80 square metres, you're looking at around $8.70 maybe. I'd probably increase that. Oh, we've got our base price here, look. I'd probably be, especially if you've got a couple of repairs as well, I'd probably be at more like around about £12 per square metre. And if you keep it under £1,000, you know, if this were to come out at £1,020, I'd be inclined to go in at $995, for example. But you get a rough idea of the cost of materials, how much sealer you're going to need for an area that big. So you're looking at about 64 litres. So that's about 3 tubs of this stuff, isn't it? They come in 20 litre tubs, so you're looking at about 3 tubs. Cost of product. It's about right, isn't it? Yeah, it's about right. Including delivery. Hope that's helpful for you, mate. A little bit of a breakdown. If you don't already use it, smelt.club is the website. Helps you out with your sanding and sealing quoting. It's escape call safe. What's worse than a massive spider on the loose? An angry massive spider on the loose. Imagine you guys just see it like crawl over my shoulder. And because I'm so far behind on chat, I don't see you shouting at me saying, it's on your shoulder. And I'm just like, it's just sat there for ages. Anyone in here painted a deck before? Generally stained decking with decent oil. What a nightmare. Completely undercharged. Oh dear. I mean, the guy you need, really, is Steve Shires. We did a podcast with Steve Shires on this channel. I don't know if you saw it, but he was very informative. If you scroll back, if you go on the live streams, on the live section on YouTube, and scroll back all the way. Oh, it was a while ago, wasn't it? Before Christmas. Sausage Fest. Here we go. It was 11 months ago. Decking expert Steve Shires. And he goes through all of this. We had a proper in-depth conversation. And he talks about, you know, why you shouldn't paint decking. He talks about the proper process to clean it, sand it, stain it, oil it, whatever you want to do with it. But if you want a bit more information, that would be the one to listen to. Steve Shires, the king of decking. After this, after you've liked and subscribed and engaged with this one, go back and watch that one. It's back. It wants to upsell the Upsell app to him. It? Oh, the spider. A surge? I've had a flood. Honestly, it's got mental the last 3 or 4 days. I think I've booked 10 jobs in since Saturday with others to book. There you go. I was booked for 5 days. Now I'm booked for nearly 3 weeks. That's the first job at 8 AM. Last appointment for gutters at 6 PM. Can't fit any more in. Damn, 8 till 6. Long day, mate. Long day on the tools. Evening, Nick. Focus exterior. I think I've already briefly covered that, mate. I'm sorry if I didn't get to your message straight away. When there's comments and messages, I'm still reading the ones up here and I'm going through them one by one. So if you've typed something, I'm trying to read every single one, because I think if you've gone through the effort of engaging and typing, then the least I can do is try and read it, even if you typed it 20 minutes ago. We have a bit of scaffold on the job, having to sandback and primer, then paint overhanging dormers. It's a bit of a nightmare. Don't think I'll be taking any more of this work on. So Sean, is this your first one then? So you've got a bit of scaffold. So this is painting the fascias and painting the fascias. You're having to sand them back, primer it, and then paint. So you're having to touch each section 3 times. The first one is the sanding. Then you move along, sand some more, move along, sand some more. Then go back to the first spot, primer it, primer it, primer it, and then go back to and then paint it. It seems like a lot of work, doesn't it? And how much can you charge for a job like that? It doesn't seem like people would be willing to pay the sort of money I'd want to do that sort of job, you know what I mean? I did the course. Not all the general public are going to try and do their own exterior cleaning, mate. Also listed as a local approved applicator too. Luke, who are you talking to? I'm not sure what you're referring to, mate. I'm sorry. I've got a couple of ceiling jobs. The weather's doing me over. Yeah, same. Jake, talk to me about this weed killer license. I'm probably not the best person to ask because I don't have one. But it's called the PA1, PA6 license. Pesticide training. Let's just have a look on a random website. Safe handling and application of pesticides. So you need both, apparently. Book a course, book a place today. So 262.75. A whole day of training, and then a 1-hour assessment on a separate day, all classroom based. And that's just for the PA1. Right, okay. The PA6 is an additional £341, another day, and then a 2-hour assessment on a separate day. Am I reading that right? So it's a total of 2 days training and then another 2 separate days of assessments and 341.75 plus what was it? 262.75. So it's 605 quid. Seems excessive, doesn't it? I mean, this is just one website. Who's this? Oh, bollocks. PA1 spraying course online. You can do it online. And then you can do the assessment online as well. PA6 pesticide. I wonder if there's anything you can do online. I wonder if you can do the whole thing online. Interesting. I'm the wrong person to ask is what I'm trying to say. Sent you the big job on WhatsApp. Let's have a look at your big job.
Right then guys, today we're in Hodnett on this job. We've got a repoint, a clean, and there's a few slabs that need relaying also. If you follow me, I'll take you around
Is your drone following you around? Is that your drone?
and show you the extent of the job and what we're doing. Let's go. As you can see guys, this patio goes all the way around the house, front of the property, wraps around
No,
all the
it's not your
sides.
drone, is it? By the way.
Right then guys,
That's
today
not your
we're
drone,
in
is it? Because I can see
large area of the
someone
patio.
stepping.
All these slabs are discoloured, covered with algae, green, black spot. All the jointing's pretty much compromised. There is quite a few slabs that are loose that are going to need relaying before repointing. And as you come around here, we're into probably one of the largest areas with a lot of black spot in the corners, in the shaded areas.
So is this what you're talking about? You've recorded this in portrait and you want to get it into landscape for YouTube. You need to be recording everything in landscape in like 4K so that when you do want to chop it up and get a portrait version of it, you just lose the edges. That's all.
And then a bit further down
You don't want to
here,
record in portrait if you're going to be using it for
down
both.
into this side of the house as well.
That is a big one.
For example, this one here, the smaller ones, non-existent and loose.
So with a little slab like that, are you just using like a slurry and just sticking it back down, or are you digging out the old sub base and like laying on a full bed of mortar mix? I'm curious. She's a big old job, isn't she? I can see why you wanted some help on it.
Or
Oh, have you cleaned it?
So yeah, get in there. It's been a long day.
Come up nice, mate. Good job. Jake, are you charging per square meter on the upsale on the biocide maintenance plan, or how long, or on how long it will take you? Generally, on the biocide, for ground surfaces, it's about £1 per square meter to apply the biocide. This is what I'm doing. I don't do many of them, to be honest, if I'm totally honest with you. But the ones that I have done, it's about £1 per square meter for the biocide application, with a minimum charge. It used to be £75, and I think that's still appropriate. So if it's a 20 square meter little patio, it's £75 for the visit, for the biocide visit. If it's an 80 square meter patio, it's £80. So minimum £75. Anything over that is just £1 per square meter. It's recorded in landscape, but it seems like when I change it to portrait, it's lost quality. The drone uses AI tracking, and I would most likely recommend an exterior tile adhesive and apply the subbase to the tile or slab. Okay. When I change it to portrait, it loses quality. I mean, generally it will punch in a little bit, so it's not losing quality necessarily. It's just zooming in, and you're losing all the information around the outside. I don't know without seeing it properly, I'm afraid, mate. Let's have a look. I bought a little electric whacker plate which I can run off my generator. It was under 200 quid. Electric whacker plate. Are you using it for this sort of work, Daz? Oh, it's an Evolution. Ooh, I've not seen an electric one before. Look at this. It looks like a little Flymo. It's orange as well. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Oh, he's picking it up as well. That looks ideal. I mean, if we end up doing more, then yeah, why not? The only issue I've got with Wacker plates is, you know, when you're using them on block paving, this shows my inexperience, by the way. Does it not scratch the block paving? I mean, to be fair, I used it on my mum's when I installed her driveway, and it didn't scratch any of the blocks. Paving renovation, accessory paving pad for perfect leveling. So the paving pad, would that be to protect the blocks, presumably? So are you doing, Daz, did you buy this so that you could install the hard setting sand? Or have you done some landscaping and stuff? PA2 if you're going to use rotary tools or boom sprayers. Don't overthink everything, Jake. You're doing very well, buddy. Thanks, Mick. Crystal, welcome. Attended the Pure Seal Module 1 last week. Knowledgeable guys. Learned a lot. 100%. Literally, I'm only offering early mornings and evening appointments for gutters as I can't fit them in the day. Pressure washing and roof cleaning has kicked off. So because you know you can get in and out of a gutter clear within an hour, it's like a perfect job for either like just to slot in early morning or last job of the day. I see the logic in that. That's a good idea. Because with pressure washing, it can go either way sometimes. A simple job, depending on the drainage and the water pressure, can go from taking an hour to 3 hours. So it's quite unpredictable. The one we did today, me and Jakey were in and out within an hour. And the guy went, God, that was quick. And I was thinking, like, actually it was, to be fair. The two jobs we had today both had great water pressure and great drainage. And it makes such a difference. But with gutter clearing, generally you're hard pressed to, you know, especially with two of us, to not be in and out within the hour, you know what I mean? That does make a lot of sense. I like it. Roof scraping with a shovel, I've seen it all. I mean, if it works, it works. We'll be better using the wire brush. He tried the wire brush and it didn't work. Get on the roof. Hi mate, on the verge of starting up, how did you get over people trying to talk you out of it and talking down on it? I remember, I've got a very clear memory when I started my business, and this isn't supposed to be disparaging in any way. I love my brother, but when I first said I've bought a pressure washer, he was like, what are you going to do? I was like, I don't know, probably I'm thinking about, you know, driveways. I think washing cars is a good one for like a stable, regular income. And he rolled his eyes and he's like, you really want to be doing that? Like, you've got a good job. Like, why do you want to wash cars? And the way he rolled his eyes, it's stayed with me. And I'm glad I didn't listen, and I'm glad I pursued it anyway. There's going to be a lot of people in your life like that who, I don't know if it's down. You know, some people think it's their insecurities being projected, you know, scared of failure, all that sort of stuff. I don't know if it was necessarily that. I think he just wanted better for me, which is nice. But at the same time, you know, there are going to be people in your life that want to. I think it comes from a protection. I think it comes from a place of wanting to protect you, so you don't make mistakes and don't mess your life up. And that's fine. But if you don't take risks, you don't become exceptional. If you do what everyone else does, you will very quickly just fall into the regular. I've been listening to a lot of Alex Hormozy, and he says, you know, if you take advice from regular people, you know, you'll become a regular person. He articulated it much better than I am, but if you want to be exceptional, you need to step outside of the norm. So what might seem like a terrible idea and a mistake to some people, now that can work both ways as well, because if you get a lot of people saying you're making a big mistake, like you need to rethink about what you're doing, it could be worth listening to the majority. In some cases, it's hard to know sometimes, isn't it? It's hard to know. And also, people don't know how much time and effort and thought you've put into something when you present it to them. This is what I've always had issues with, is I've done weeks and weeks and weeks of research and spent hundreds of hours thinking about stuff and planning something, and then I have a 5-minute conversation with someone and say, oh, by the way, I'm looking into this, I'm quite excited about it, and I think if I spend this much money, I can charge this, and they get this 5-minute elevator pitch, and depending on how well you put it across, sometimes it sounds bonkers, and it's like, okay, you clearly haven't thought this through. Are you sure you want to do this? Meanwhile, you've thought of all the possibilities. You've spent hundreds of hours thinking about it, but you can only articulate it in this short little 5-minute conversation, and so they only get a little snapshot. And also, just think about the person that's giving you advice. Do you want to be like that person? Is that person someone you aspire to be like? Do they have the kind of lifestyle that you want to live? Do they have the kind of wealth that you want to earn? And if not, why are you taking advice from them? You know what I mean? It seems counterintuitive. You want to be taking advice from people that you aspire to be like. The ideal way is to get the whole house scaffolded. True. Watching from Manhattan. Nice. Hit that like and subscribe. Millhouse, you're doing God's work, mate. Can you do a stream on surviving the winter? Yeah. So last year we had Darren from PWS on, and I think we did a whole stream on how to frost-proof your setup, and how to are you talking about your business surviving over the winter or your equipment surviving over the winter? Because that's two different conversations. I can't find the stream that we did, but we've done a few where we've spoken about it. Look for the one with Darren from PWS. Here's one of them. Q&A with PWS. Probably that one. About a year ago. About this time last year. There's another one. Q&A. About a year ago. There's around 10 of us. I think Jakey's pulled out there. I just a night out, to be honest, a sober night out for me, in the middle of nowhere, far away from home. I couldn't think of anything worse. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to let you down last minute. I'm hoping it's not affected any of your plans, but I just don't fancy it, mate. I'm sorry. Jake, why have you pulled out of the night out? I'm all up for like go-karting, but I don't know if it makes sense for me to drive that kind of distance just to do a bit of go-karting and then drive home, because I don't intend to drink. I don't intend to get a hotel and stay out and stuff. Craig's on about staying out till like 6 a.m. and that's just not me, mate, I'm afraid. I like to... Nights out, I like to be back by about 11ish. Timestamp 2032. Oh, you're kidding. Are you actually kidding? I'm still scrolling back up. I don't think I've undercharged on a decking restoration job. Don't think I've not undercharged on a decking restoration job. They always take longer. I think that's like, what was that like? I was thinking about that the other day. Jobs that always take longer than you expect. I mean, I did a little, I did a little block paved reset today, which was, those always take a little bit longer. I don't offer it very often. Put that in the Discord so you can see it. I didn't do a terribly good job on this. I didn't charge for it either, so there's that. But they bought the sharp sand and said, you know, when you come back and resand it, can you just have a go at sorting these blocks out because they'd all sunk in the corner. This is one of them jobs where you don't realise sort of how long it takes until you're knees deep. So I ended up taking the whole section out here. You got to try and sort of keep them in some sort of order so that you don't mess it up and you make sure they go back in the right place. Filled it up with a bit of sharp sand, leveled it best I could, and then popped them all back in, and it's better. It's not perfect. It's okay. But yeah, that's one of those sorts of jobs. Connecticut time traveller Karen, welcome. It's his group. I never started the group. Craig did. Jet Ready, Paul done a good job on Paul did a good video on decking. Oh, okay, there you go. Dave says, been following you since the start, Jake. I am down on your Discord as DG Jetwash. Welcome, Dave. Thanks. Class Jake, thanks very much for the breakdown. I had in my mind 870 quid, so I'm going to put 970. As always, my brother from another mother. I mean, don't. If you've accounted for everything in your quote and it's your first job, that's my price. It's quite a strong price. 970 for 80 square meters, I'd say is fairly strong. And so if you've got no experience doing it and it's your first tarmac restoration, I think 870 is fine. When you get proficient at it, and I mean, I suppose with the fact that you're also offering the repairs as well, that's another 20 quid in materials and a decent chunk of labour on top. So maybe. I don't want to be responsible for you not landing that job because you've upped your price by about 100 quid, you know what I mean? Just in Nando's, so type in can't listen, another gutter in, and another roof inquiry just came in. Honestly, every decking restoration I've done just wanted to leave halfway through and never come back. Oh no. That's like quite a few of the roof cleans that we've done, to be fair. You just want to give up halfway through and think. To be fair, some of the repointing jobs as well have been like that. You're charging 1,800 quid for painting the fascias. I suppose it depends on the size of the house at that point though, but that's yeah, that's sounds like it's worth it then, doesn't it? Revive. Dirty houses tend to be dirty for a reason. They either don't care or can't afford it. The houses that are a bit dirty are normally better because they've spent it on cleaning in the past. Yeah, that's true. When you come across those houses that, when you're door knocking, you guys talking about door knocking. So yeah, when you walk past these houses and you think, God, that'll be a good one. That looks terrible. That's going to be a great transformation. Daz makes a good point. It looks terrible because they don't maintain it and they're not interested in maintaining it. And so why would they spend the money on you to come and clean it? You might be better off targeting the slightly more upmarket houses, the ones that are clearly spending money on their properties. The good ones to look out for are freshly rendered houses. When you drive past a house that's just been rendered, chances are there's stains on their driveway, and it's another indicator that they're spending money on their property if they've just had their render done. Because render, generally, I would have thought, is purely aesthetic, isn't it? Maybe it offers some sort of insulation value, but it's mainly aesthetic. And so if someone's spending that kind of money to render the outside of their house, chances are they might want their drive doing as well. Mate, that's what expensive. Mine was same time frame, PA1 day, PA6 one day, then both assessments the day after. I think it was 320 quid all in. Okay, that's interesting. So PA1 one day, PA6 the next, and then both assessments the day after. So, I mean, that's still 3 days out of work. When you consider, like, we're aiming for between £500 to £800 per day. To not be earning that, and to instead be spending between £300 and £600, whatever it might be, and to be off work for 3 days. It's a massive investment, that is, when you actually like do the maths. Do you really need to spend 3 days doing a weed killing course? We spend less than that doing a bloody IPAF, which seems backwards. £2,600 for the rough casting, not started that one yet. Is that painting? Anyone play Warzone? Let's get to the bottom of this chat. I bought it for landscaping, but we use it for hard setting sand jobs. I have the rubber protecty thingy for the block paving. There we go. Arden, welcome. Jake, read this. When does Jake read this? 2056. Oh, that's not bad. I'm only 2 minutes behind. Right, I'm skipping through some of these messages because they're all... You guys are just chatting amongst yourselves. Craig's just having... Craig's negotiating in the chat. Okay, we've got to the bottom of the chat. Right, what did I want to talk about? Stuff that I wanted to talk about. So I still maintain, right, that if you're offering gutter clearing as a service, that you can't do it without a set of ladders. However, and the reason I say that is because a lot of people have this idea that they're going to buy a gutter vacuum and it means they never have to get on a ladder again and they can do it all from the ground. And I think that is not the case. I think you still need to get up and check the downpipes, because I said on the last couple of streams, around about 50% of the jobs we do have got blocked downpipes, and you can't get the vacuum inside. However, Skyvac have come up with this tool. I don't know if this has been shown before. I don't know if this is... it says it's a new product. Ooh. I've just spotted a different one. Elite Soft Long End Tool. It's a soft long end tool, ideal for everyday gutter clearing tasks, made specifically for deep aluminium gutters and downpipes. Plastic is less likely to scratch or damage the surface. I like the idea of plastic ones, you know. Jed, thank you so much for becoming a member. You're a boosted member, welcome. Thank you, mate. Very kind of you. You'll get a link that'll allow you to join the Discord, mate. I'm sure you've been a member before. Cheers, mate. Welcome. So I've thought for a long time, right? You know, sometimes these aluminium vacuum heads and nozzles and stuff, if you've got metal gutters or whatever, or even plastic gutters, they're either scratching the base of the gutters or they're not making full contact with the base of the gutters. And so they leave stuff behind. And I thought, wouldn't it be better to have something that's slightly more flexible, that actually contours to the shape of the gutter, so that you can scoop more of that stuff off? It's mainly the flat base gutters, the flat square ones, where you can't sort of make full contact, so you leave like a skid mark all the way down the centre of the gutter. And I always thought like something rubbery might be better. A rubber nozzle might be better. But this one's a soft plastic nozzle. I think rubber. The same, literally the same, like even silicone, like the elbows are made out of. It's a metal nozzle. Imagine the dirt gulper, right? I mean, even this is a good example. Imagine that shape in silicon. I feel like that would be so much better for clearing gutters. Just something with a little bit of flex in it. But also, it looks like they've released a new product, which is called the Skyvac Dual Unblocking Tool, and this is potentially, I don't want to speak too soon, but it's potentially a game changer. But I've not tried it, so we're speculating at the moment. This thing goes in the downpipe, creates a vacuum, and that's the intention, I guess. Anyway, it's got this little bunga dunga on top, where it goes over the downpipe, creates that vacuum, and turns the whole downpipe into like a vacuum pole. And so when usually when you're trying to clear a downpipe with a vacuum, there's air passing either side, and so you're not making a full tight seal. And so if there is anything halfway down, the air is just sort of bypassing it and it's not really moving. Whereas this thing, because it makes that tight seal, you'd have thought that would be a hell of a lot more effective. Look at that. So that's very interesting, and I'd be quite keen to give one of those a go. Do we think that's going to work? So it seals the top and you can suck it out. Wait, it seals the top and you can suck it all out from below? No, I don't think that's the idea, mate. No, it seals the top and creates like lossless suction. When you're vacuuming the downpipe, there's always loss because it's not a tight fit. Whereas if you can seal the top of it first and then suck it out, it's like you've just got an extendable pole. I'm not convinced it's as good as they say because it's pretty cheap for Skyvac. You think because it's cheap it doesn't work? You can cut a bit of rubber mat to fit over your nozzle. That's one way of doing it. I mean, this looks like they've put some thought into the design though. I am curious as to why they've chosen a big chunky, I can't zoom in here. They've gone for a big chunky Jubilee clip. Just there, look. And that would potentially, that's not ideal really, because it's just another thing to get lodged in the top of the downpipe and prevent that suction. The other thing that could potentially happen here is on some properties when those tiles are hanging too far over that you just can't get the tool in the first place, but that's probably quite rare. Would love to see a video of it in action. Yeah. I wonder if it works for all shapes of downpipe. That's my big question. I don't like ladders at all. Skyback. Yeah, yes. What fittings are you using on your large bore hose buffer to machine, please? This is another thing I want to talk about. What fittings are you using on your large bore hose buffer tank to machine? So we've got a bull valve. I think I've got a 1-inch ball valve. And then it's a clear wire reinforced hose. And you want to keep this one kind of short. Oh, sorry, no, on the buffer tank, on Jakey's bin. On Jakey's one. They're all the sort of chunky fittings from Pressure Washer Sales and Service in Evesham. There's a decent walkthrough of pretty much the exact same setup. Here, this limestone job. Be really careful with limestone is the title of the video. And here you can see all the fittings. That's the high pressure hose. See the low pressure hose in the background there? They're the big chunky quick release fittings. And that's the exact same setup that I've got. See that big chunky quick release down in the bottom there? So have a little look at that video. It's called Be Really Careful with Limestone. And it was posted a year ago. And I basically go through the whole setup there. And it's, yeah. 50mm plastic downpipes can be cut to use in your gutter vac. Super cheap. 50mm plastic downpipes. Oh, I didn't think about that. So instead of buying vacuum poles, you just use downpipes instead. What's the name and model of your desktop? Looking to get a new one. This one was a bit of a nutty gaming PC. I built it myself from Scan. This website here, because I do the video editing and all that sort of stuff, it's a Scan 3XS system, and it's, I think it was a gaming PC, and then I built it myself. But it was a 4060 Ti, not the 4060 Ti, and then like 32 gig of RAM. And I basically none of these ones actually were exactly what I wanted, so I ended up just building one myself on this website. That one is okay. It comes with the kit, but not the new unblocking tool. Oh, the plastic one, you mean? Oh, you bought one, Neil. You got one on the way. Just suck the gutters at the bottom. I mean, it's all well and good if you can access the gutter, if you can access the downpipe from the bottom. That's all well and good. A lot of the time the downpipe goes straight down into the ground, and so you can't really do that on some of them. And also the main reason why a lot of the downpipes block at the top is because people, I don't know how this caught on. I don't know how this became a thing. But when these people are installing the gutters and the downpipes, they're screwing screws in that are this long, and they're almost touching the other end of the gutter. And so you've just made a nice little shelf for all that moss to drop onto. And I just don't understand it. It's so common. Really strange. Hello mate, Tony, welcome. I'm thinking of getting the engine pump tank reels and bits and asking PWS to build it. Would that be cheaper? I'm thinking about getting the engine pump tank reels and bits and asking PWS to build it. What makes you think that you can get that equipment cheaper than what Darren can get it? You know what I mean? If he's supplying a package deal and he's already got he's already put the effort in to do these like van mounted systems, and he's already got the blueprints for everything, what makes you think you can source the individual components cheaper than what Darren can and then not incur the cost when he puts it together and adds his labour on top? You know what I mean? It's a question for him. I don't know, to be honest. I would assume that he can get that sort of stuff in bulk cheaper than what you can. Does he pass that saving on to you? I don't know. I'm not too sure. Thinking of getting a GX800 and a 44 litre per minute pump and running 2 lines. What are your thoughts? So so running 2 high pressure hoses from the same machine. Patios, drives and roofs. Yeah, I mean, that's a nice way of doing it. It keeps the, instead of having 2 separate tanks, 2 separate machines, 2 separate fuel sources, if you're a 2-man crew, it makes sense to have one machine do all the output. Yes, it does. Yeah, you need a fairly chunky buffer tank to be maintaining 44 litres per minute. Yeah, the screws are a nightmare, aren't they? To me, that's serious overkill. You would spend more on fuel and maintenance than you'll earn. I don't know about that. Why would it? I mean, I run my GX 630 on idle, and honestly, I don't think I'm using as much fuel as Jake is running his 21 litre per minute machine on full whack, on full revs. I reckon we'd probably use about the same fuel. So if he's running, for most jobs, he's probably going to be running that on idle. Would maintenance be more? Maybe. I will say that my big Honda engine, I've not had any issues with it. It does keep turning off at the minute. These last couple of times I've used it, because I keep forgetting the low oil cutoff is engaging, and I keep forgetting to top it up. It won't turn over if it's got no oil in it, so I know there's a bit in it. But you know, when you first start it when it's cold, it cuts off after like 5 seconds, and I'm like, low oil, damn it. But other than topping up the oil, I've had it serviced and stuff. I've not had any I've not had anything. I've not spent any money on it. Wouldn't spend loads on a top setup if you're only just starting. That's true. Yeah, if it's your first machine, probably you're going in balls deep there with a big machine. You can get the pump and gearbox about 1,600 quid. You wouldn't be running 2 at the time just on big jobs. You wouldn't be running 2 machines, 2 lines all the time just on big jobs. Yeah, I don't know, mate. That's probably quite a significant investment. Have you been in the game for a while? You've been doing this sort of stuff already, or is this going to be your first machine? Do we think the downpipe unblocker means no more ladders? That's the question I was asking. Jason had a good idea in the repointing chat earlier today. He's backfilling some of these slabs with kiln dried sand, which isn't new. This has been done before. I like to do this with like grit. We've done this in the past with just like either pea gravel or a bit of grit. But the stroke of genius, I think, which is very impressive, he's made a tool from an old broom handle, and it's set to 2.5 mil. So he's essentially backfilling all the joints and then just running this tool along the joints to set the depth to 2.5 mil, so that he's not wasting all that excess jointing compound, Nexus Titan, which isn't cheap. He's filling it with sand instead, getting his depth, so he's getting a nice consistent depth all the way through. I'm not sure kiln dried sand is the most appropriate thing you could use in this situation. I think gravel would be better. You're putting the jointing compound on top of loose sand, which I'm not sure is ideal. I mean, you will be wetting it and stuff, and it's probably going to be nice and compact because it's quite thin sand. I don't know, maybe you guys know better than me on that one, but this little tool is a bit of a stroke of genius, I thought. I feel like I need to get myself one of them. Staying with the grinding discs, I need to get myself a depth gauge on the grinding wheel so that we're only going down to 2.5 centimeters. So that you're literally using, you're following it, you're following the instructions to the T, and you're not wasting material. I think it's a cool idea. There's another tool that Gutvac were advertising. It goes under the slats that overlap the gutters. It goes under the slats that overlap the gutters. I'm not sure what you mean, mate. I used to be a landscape gardener and construction. So will it be your first pressure washer? That was the question. Chimney sweep brushes, dryer vent brushes for the downspouts, maybe. Yes, can you get them that long and that small? Can you get like tiny chimney sweep brushes? Small chimney sweep brushes. But doesn't that also rely on you being above the gutter? Because you wouldn't really be able to do that from below, would you? Would you? I don't know. On the end of a gutter, you can put them on the end of these rods. Look, not a bad idea really. You can get them in all different sizes, potentially. Yeah, I mean, instead of having to disassemble the whole downpipe, as long as your rod is flexible, that's what she said, then you might be alright with that. I don't know. Might be worth a try. The sand should be mixed with cement as a dry mix, then misted and then left to set before applying the Titan. Otherwise, it will just wash out after a few months. Okay. Okay. Guys, just a short one today. We've done almost 2 hours. Does anyone have any questions or thoughts, anything that's been bugging them for the last couple of weeks? This is your opportunity to get it off your chest before I head off. The bends normally block, so the drain rods won't go around the bends. Yeah, unless you've got super flexy rods. Well, the Discord is so organised, every single type of topic in its own section. Very nice. Thank you. Me and Matt have put a lot of effort into organising this so that have you linked your... Oh, you haven't linked your once you link your YouTube, mate, you'll have access to all this. Oh, you can't see. You'll have access to all this. Yeah, we've got equipment chat, identify this, where we help each other with identifying certain stones and block paving and porcelain, and we've got a new logo and branding chat where we've partnered with Luke Jarvis. And he's given us some Discord only deals on all his like leaflet design and logos and websites and stuff. So this is a good resource for that's one he's done recently. Good resource for your branding and stuff. He does all that kind of thing. I thought it'd be nice to partner with someone who can reliably produce, you know, consistent good work and give us like a bulk price for the Discord users, knowing that he's gonna probably see a lot more inquiries and he can do us like a special smelty price. pricing and value, we've got chemical chat, we've got repointing chat, we've got ceiling chat, roof cleaning, wood care, render chat. There's all sorts going on in this Discord. If you're not already a member and you want to join a nice little community, there's about 400 of us now. We all help each other. It's a very friendly place to be. No slagging each other off and stuff. It's all just very civilized and we're all trying to help each other. And of course you get that help and advice as well. Thanks, Karen. Good night, Daz. Is there anywhere I can download all the before and afters in one go? No. No, they were on Google Drive, but for ease of when you view them on Google Drive, they're all sort of blurred and pixelated and sort of hidden in folders, and so you weren't really sure what you were downloading. You had to open each image individually, let it render, and then download it, and so it was kind of clunky. So instead, I've laid them out in the Discord like this, and you just have to go into them, pull it up, right click and save the image. At least then you know which ones you're downloading, which ones you're not. I understand it would be better for some people if they could just bulk download all of them at once, but yeah, I've chosen not to do that on purpose. Jack's finishing earlier every week. I mean, it's hot. I've spoken about everything I want to speak about. The reason I come and do these live streams is when I get messages throughout the week from people asking for help, I can generally get locked into like conversations with people. When they ask one question and then they come back to me with another 5 once they answer their first question, and then I tend to be this like one-to-one help and advice line for some people, and it got to the point where I was spending more time helping other people and answering questions than I was actually responding to my own customers. And so I thought I need to figure something out, and so I started directing all those people to Monday night's live stream. So if you've got questions that you think I can help with, Monday night is the opportunity to ask those questions, and I'll do my best to try and explain them if I'm equipped to even answer them in the first place. But when the questions run out, when I get to the bottom of the chat and my list is sort of done, then I thought about doing more of these live streams every week, but I thought there's only so much you can talk about in the exterior cleaning industry. Would we really fill more than one live stream per week? And I don't think we would. You know what I mean? He's getting older. The Discord is well worth it if you're thinking about it. Oh, there you go. It's the wedding planning brings the man down. No, nothing's changing. Nothing's changing. I appreciate doing the pause. No worries, mate. Right, have a good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Make this week a really good one. If you're quiet, do something about it. Don't just sit around. And I hope everyone enjoys themselves. Watch my new video. See you later.